Hi, my name is Hannah Arduini, and I'm going to take you through my journey of how I found scholarly secondary sources for my presentation topic, which was on Safavid architecture in Isfahan. So first, I looked at the list of buildings that I should talk about in my presentation and just started researching each one to find some scholarly sources. So the first one I was researching was the Darb-i-Iman, and I just typed the name of the building in Google, followed by architecture. First, just have a general idea of what would come up. And one of the first results was ArcNet, which I know from the past to be a scholarly source from my past presentations. So I thought this would be a perfect resource. As you see here, it provides an in-depth description about the architecture in the building and also provides the sources that they got their information from, which I found as a good resource to find additional primary and secondary sources. And you can click these links and see what comes up. So I went here and found some more information through this. So that was a good way to find where they got this information from. And they also provide an in-depth resource of images, which would be secondary sources, and they have an immense amount of detail work. So yeah, you're able to click on each of the images and it provides you with the caption, the photographer, where it came from, where it was published, all the information you would need to cite this source. So that was a good resource to use in my actual presentation, as all of this information was helpful towards citing, and they were clear photographs from the site, as opposed to Google Images, which you should never use. Next, I did the same thing with another building. Now knowing that ArcNet was a scholarly source, I used this again. And the same thing, pulled up another journal article, and you can see it's the same thing with the description, and the sources were a good resource for finding additional sources beyond ArcNet. I found this book to be really helpful. Book right here, The Art and Architecture of Islam, I thought would be super helpful. So I took a chance, went to the UF Library catalog, which is a awesome resource here on campus where you can search not only specific books, but broad topics in general of what books are available to me on campus. So I typed in UF catalog and it brings me to the George A. Smathers Library's website. Typed in the name of this book to see if perhaps it was available to me. Art and Architecture of Islam, and search. And it'll bring you all the results related to this, and with my luck, the book was actually here on campus, which was awesome. So when you find the book you're interested in, all you have to do is click on the title, and it'll show you publication date, all the information you need. Just give a little description of the book, what it's about, and also where it is located on campus, which was the Architectural Fine Arts Library, and the call number, which is what you need to find the book in the actual library. So from here, I just went to the library, which is right next to studios, which was very convenient. Went to the library, wrote down the call number, went upstairs to where all the books are held, searched for the call number, which is super easy because they have it all organized beautiful for students, checked it out, and I had another resource. After that, I moved to another building, the Haran Veliat, and architecture to see what sources might pop up. And I used ArcNet as well as this book called Affected Motion and Subjectivity in Early Modern Muslim Empires. And though it was not available to me in the physical sense, this ebook was just a translated version of the actual book, so it has all the publication info of the original book, and I was able to search through this for photos as well as secondary information about my project. So that's how I found all of the scholarly sources I used for my presentation on Safavid architecture in Isfahan. I found it to be a pretty simple process once I was able to understand what sources to look for and which ones are scholarly versus just regular websites. I was able to scan the internet, and the library for sources about my topic, and use the scanners in the library to scan my images in my books. And now I'm happy to say that I know how to look for scholarly sources for any presentation I may need to do in the future.